Did you know Lanny had He's doing good.
Everyone rise, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You better head with me, please. This last Friday, we found out that one of our department heads has brain cancer that runs our, Steve Swollen, that runs our sewage plant. A lot of you probably never even heard his name. We recruited him from Richmond, 27 years in the area, in the field, and just thought he had the flu, went to the doctor, and ended up being brain cancer. So he's had chemotherapy for the last week and a half now. So bow your heads with me, if you would, please. Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for the opportunity that we can serve our community. I pray that you keep Steve in your hands and keep him in your will and be with him through this endeavor, through his life. I pray that you keep continuing blessing our community and helping us move forward as we make decisions, business decisions for this community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. City Council meeting Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019 comes to order. Roll call, please.
Mary Brington.
Here.
Jeff Hancock.
Here.
Jerry Walden.
Here.
Aaron Dickens.
Here.
Mark Cover. Lynn Purdue.
Here.
Rex Stackenball.
Here.
Any corrections or additions from the minutes from the former meeting?
Move we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Mary Brington.
Abstain.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Abstain.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Stackenball.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0 to abstain.
Does that work?
One out.
I couldn't stay.
Mr. Vice President, I turn this meeting over to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I got second reading for 3809, approving additional appropriations of funds. I make a motion that we accept it. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mary Brington.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Stackenball.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for the third reading for 3809.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Mary Brington.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Stackenball.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
I'd like to make a motion for third and final reading 3809.
Second.
Made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Mary Brington.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Stackenball.
Aye.
Carries 6-0.
Ordinance number 3810, an ordinance amending the zoning districts of the city of Newcastle. Whereas on July 1st, 2019, Sam Hall requested Newcastle Plan Commission consider the amendment of the master plan of the city of Newcastle established in ordinance number 846 of city and. Whereas request submitted by Sam Hall seeks to rezone certain real estate located in the city of Newcastle, Henry County, Indiana, from its current R3 multifamily residential to C1 commercial zoning, and whereas the rezoning gives reasonable regard to 1. The comprehensive plan, 2. The current conditions and character of the area to be rezoned, 3. The most desirable use of the area to be rezoned, 4. Property values of the area, and 5. Reasonable development and growth of the area, and whereas on July 31st, 2019, the Plan Commission certified the Common Council of the City of Newcastle that has considered this request after public notice and hearing approved the aforementioned amendment in the zoning code. Now therefore be ordained by the Common Council of the City of Newcastle that it hereby adopts the recommendation of the Newcastle Plan Commission and amends the master plan of the City of Newcastle and zoning map by rezoning the certain real estate located within the City of Newcastle, Henry County, Indiana, from R3 to C1. Said real estate is more particularly described as follows to wit: vacant lot, South 14th Street of Newcastle, parcel 030-53250-00, and more fully described as rural and home addition S-108 lots 1 and 2, block 4, common known as South 14th Street, Newcastle 47362. A GIS photo we have with you, council members, shows the picture of it's a light black parking lot right beside Mr. McCallum's property. And one thing, I have had a request and all that, and might need to amend we have the new sidewalk program and all that, but I have had a request, and council, please take this in consideration. There's no green space and all that. Mr. McCallum would like to have a barrier because there's two parking lots butt up against each other, and for traffic cutting through or anything, if he has a stoplight there, sometimes they cut through anyway. He would like to see a barrier go between the two properties, 2 or 3 foot, just to separate the two properties. So I don't know, there's no green space there. I don't know if we need to amend the sidewalks when we have new business come to town or anything like that. Mike is not here. I don't see him. Thought he was supposed to be here, but he's not here. Is anybody here to represent Mike? There's not, and all that stuff. So just keep that in mind. Sam, do you want to speak on this, or anybody on your part? Penny? Okay.
I don't have a lot to say other than, I'd like to introduce Paul Armstrong, who was Paul, he may not, be someone you're all familiar with. He's actually one of us. He's invested in Newcastle years ago with Little Caesars, and he's kind of outgrown that space, and he's came to me with the idea of moving over to 14th and Walnut, and so there's some of your ideas that we.
We're, I would say the current space that we're at, we're having a few landlord issues, and we can't get them to do anything with our building, so we look for an alternative. We're looking for an alternative place with the Little Caesars and something that'll help the city of Newcastle. When we found Sam's property, I know it wasn't zoned properly, but that's where we'd like to go. These are Little Caesars buildings that have been put up in the last month or two, and something that we plan to emulate in that space. We would put in a pickup window, wouldn't have a squawk box, or like a typical, it would just be for, we kind of looked at it as for mothers with children in the car, instead of having to grab all the kids, run out and grab their pizza, since we do the hot and ready. I don't know if you guys are familiar with our hot and ready program, but that way the mothers could just pull up, fathers, whoever could easily access our restaurant, but it wouldn't have the typical drive-through of an order at one spot and pick up at the other. It'd be just picking up hot and ready through it, or utilizing our online service.
Are there any plans for the church building itself beyond this?
I have some interest in that building, as of maybe a couple of weeks ago, but not in anything that's going to require that parking. So presently, that had, originally was a parking lot for the old Baptist church for years and years. And when the church moved out, it actually became a vacant lot and required extra maintenance. It was going to hang out for kids, and next to Greg and all of you, we've got a good place for skateboarding. We used to be, we've got Greg, a skateboard and hang out. So we feel this is a good way to utilize that property.
Greg, is there any need to expand this zoning out further than just that, or is it already set up?
Well, I have no idea what the
And I'm sorry to ask that right now, but I didn't have a state.
I think we take care of the first matter at hand, and we'll try to outguess the future, so let's just.
I just didn't know if any other properties were needing to be that same.
Well,
type
one
of
time the
zoning.
church across the street, the tall yellow building, what's it called? It's a resale store.
Yeah.
It was a church, so we rezoned it then for them to put,
Consignment.
It really probably depends on who would go in there as to what maybe it would be zoned anyway. So if we zoned it now, we might have to rezone it again.
it's one lot at a time. I don't want to overdo it and have to come back and change it for something else.
Okay, I was just wondering while we were at it, might as well think about it.
Good thought.
Will your building be facing 14th Street?
Yes, it would.
And will your entrance and exit both be on 14th Street?
There are currently 3 curb cuts. There's one on Walnut towards the back,
Mhm.
and there's the 2 on 14th. We weren't really planning on changing any of the curb cuts. If you guys wanted us to eliminate a curb cut going on to Walnut, the Walnut one, we kind of looked at as it'd probably be an easy in and out for our garbage truck or the semi that delivers our food, and we wouldn't really assume the flow of traffic. We're hoping to go around the building.
Yeah, my only concern there is the 2 residential properties on Walnut that are on Main Street.
Okay.
How much traffic flow are they gonna get?
Yeah.
Garbage trucks and delivery trucks and so on?
They only come once a week. They're not big. It's not an in and out with our delivery. We have a delivery 1 day a week, and usually they do an evening, early morning or an evening drop, to really more so to stay out of the way of, local commerce and traffic. And the garbage truck, I know, comes midday once a week.
Is it possible to put a barrier between the 2 businesses there, between McCown's and?
That doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
When we talked with Mr. McCowan at the last meeting, we said, our plan was to either put a little half wall or a little.
Perfect, that'd be great.
Something
That was
to
his
break it up
request.
so he
Yeah,
doesn't have to
yeah.
worry about traffic
Right.
coming through his property.
Yeah.
And
Because,
also on the west side where, I believe it was residents, you're going to have another wall.
we're gonna have another wall.
Yeah,
So
I
you
don't know
have
if it's
an
a wall
L-shape
or a fence or
or something.
but,
Privacy.
Yeah, something privacy to
Okay.
make sure that where our dumpster or, our employee parking is, that we're not shining into his house or.
Okay.
Now, and 2, I guess I may be seeing the side, back of this one, but at least these top 2, you have the pylons in front. Will you have those at your store here?
And here we just have the little, curb stops. We'll have pylons in front.
Good, because that's something we've talked about, actually we haven't, but we've talked about putting in the ordinance on new construction, just as a safety issue.
We actually put them in for safety of the building, and
Mhm.
the biggest way people rob Little Caesars is driving through the front window and hitting the counter to knock the safe out of the floor, and then throwing it into the back of their truck and driving away, and that's why they have pylons. So we plan to put them in with a glass storefront. It's just for
Good, all right, thank you. Hey, I do want to say, thanks, you've been a good business here in Newcastle for a long time.
Yeah, and
I appreciate that, and I know council does too.
I appreciate
This looks
it.
really
I do want to say, when we first came in, we did a ton of work to that building and did as much as we could, and I know it's deteriorated over the years, and it's been kind of an argument between my landlord and I, because, throwing money into it and knowing that
Nice.
he's having issues, or she's now
Good on that corner.
transferred over, she's having issues with her bank, that she didn't know if she was gonna keep it or turn it back to the bank, and we didn't wanna throw money into it, and, find out in a couple of months we were gonna, have to find a new building anyway.
Also, Paul has several other stores.
Yeah, we have-
And Newcastle's one of his biggest producers, right?
Yeah.
Because you got good help.
They do. This is our manager and our supervisor at the store,
I'd
and Shay Hope.
like to make a motion ordinance number 3810.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, any questions or comments?
Yeah, there'll be a public hearing, and certified letters go out to,
It won't be certified, that's already been done, that was part of the plan.
so it was already done.
There will be, it's already went through the planning commission. It went through the commission now.
Yeah, does, now if employee do have problems.
Yeah, and we're actually hoping that this will
Cause you need more.
cause us to need more, because we're hoping this will drive our business up, because it's in a better location, kind of ties in with the new downtown that you guys are revamping, so we're kind of hoping it'll even bring more business, because right now, I've got 5 Little Caesars, this is our number 2 in sales, and we're hoping that this will drive us past Anderson and make this our number 1 store. I know some lazy old man that will probably use that driveway and have to get out of the vehicle and go in. Kind of offended when you said the old lady. Read my mind, Mayor.
That was my wife said, hey, you have to put a drive-through in. I have 4 kids, and her thing was, is biggest thing I hate about going out is grabbing 4 kids, getting out of the car, and then getting them back into their seats and getting everybody back in control. It's kind of a nightmare, and I know I do it, but I just yell at them. So.
Paul is a lot of council, he's invested things outside the store, so he is one of us.
Paul, what kind of start date are you looking at?
We have it out to bid, and we are having a bid by local contractors.
Good.
And our hope is that it will be local contractors that do all the work. I'm waiting for those bids to come back, but we'd love to do it as soon as we can. So
The correct answer was, as soon as you approve it, as well as.
yeah.
This will come back before you on October 7th.
October 7th.
October 7th. We'll have to put a notice in the newspaper for a public hearing and give the public so many days to digest that by state law, and so it'll be back before you on October 7th.
That would be the second reading.
Second reading.
And public meeting.
Public meeting plus second reading. Any other questions, comments? Thank you.
Roll call vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Mary Brington.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Beckman.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
We're down to other business. I see Mr. Smiley here. Jeff, did you want to get up and talk, or do you want to talk on it? Citizens appearing before the council. Do you want to talk now, or do you want to talk citizens appearing before the council at the end of the meeting? Why don't you come on up here and we'll go ahead and put you underneath under other business.
My name's Jeff Smiley, I'm here representing Northfield Park Development, and I'm here for what I believe to be the third and final reading of rezoning, and which would cover setbacks.
Actually, that got passed last meeting, Jeff.
Yep.
So it's already a done deal.
Okay, well, I'm just reading your.
You did such a good job, it just passed
It's
last
already
meeting.
done.
So we'll go on to the annexation?
And that won't be till next meeting.
Right, that's what I had in mind.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to see you.
And sometime I'd like to have an opportunity to present, when it's appropriate, a brief film of the Northfield Park development, what you should expect to see. And we currently, it's not been advertised, but we currently have 9 deposits, and that's just word of mouth, that people have made a significant financial investment for units that, to be built there. And we're anticipating earth moving sometime in the month of October. So
Great.
we're very excited. It's coming together very quickly. And that theater, by the way, the sign I just verified was on my text, that'll be, the temporary sign will be installed Thursday. So I know Gerald's been waiting on that. And
My wife will be so happy.
yeah, me too, me too. And that should spar a lot. So shortly thereafter, I have a meeting with Coors on Thursday. Shortly thereafter, we should have a pretty large sign posted that will show the lots that are available. Currently, there are 80. And 4 of the units have been sold. And 1 model is available. So that should be developed. That will start to build in November. So it's moving rather rapidly.
So Jeff, I know you've been working on this for a long time. How's it feel to have a dream this close?
Well, it's hard to describe the feeling. It's been a long, hard process. I'm excited about it. I've learned a lot every step. I can't deny it's been difficult. And it's been long, but it's starting to feel like we're starting to through exactly what they are. That's what I would show when I have an opportunity. And I think everybody will be pleased, and I think it's gonna be something very new and exciting and different for Newcastle. It's gonna provide housing that hasn't been provided in many years. And I think it's gonna be affordable, particularly with the interest rates. You know, I mean, yeah, is it more money than it was 20 years ago? There's no question about it. But I always tell the story about when my wife and I bought our house 36 years ago. We were so great. We were able to get the interest rate that we got because we bought it on contract. It was 11.75%, because you couldn't get that in the bank. Today, 30-year mortgage rate, 2.75, locked in. So it's going to make your dollars go a lot further. So that has to be kept in mind. But thank you for the opportunity to tell about that. Okay.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jay.
I'll turn this over to committee reports.
Okay, I have a couple things. Down on the corner of 3 and Broad, the little My Park.
Your park.
Whatever, all right, your park. Our park, okay. The shrubs are getting so big you can't even see the Newcastle sign as you come in.
They take care of it.
Okay. And also, I wanted to know, are they going to put just a stripe down 25th Street? Are they going to stripe it in any way? Are they going to do that?
They just came back, chipped it up, and they started putting new asphalt down.
Asphalt's down.
Yep.
Yeah, it's paved.
Then, when all the asphalt's done, then they come back, and I told Jeff this twice now, we're about striping Main Street there. They'll come back and stripe all at one time, they don't come back and do a little, and then they wait till all the asphalt's done, then they'll start all over and do it all. But yes, yeah, they'll get to that.
Okay. And then one other thing, we had our family reunion Sunday at Baker Park, and we rented the big shelter house. And Patty, I'm sorry I didn't get a hold of you first, but my dad got over there really early, and he had to empty all the trash cans and clean the inside of the shelter before we could even, go in and have our family gathering. I just wondered who looked after that, or
Didn't we bring somebody?
it was on Sunday.
Did we bring somebody in over the weekend to empty?
We dumped all the trash cans Sunday morning, and towed her off.
They were all
Okay,
stuffed full.
your dad might have got there at 6 or 7 or 8, and we might have got there at 9 or 10.
Well, he was over there about 9 o'clock. He
They
got there at
came
9.
in, they went to Baker, they went to Osborne Park first, and then they dumped Baker second. So I had 3 guys come in and dump all the toters and the hoppers over there.
Okay.
The big trash cans over there.
It could just, he beat us there, but we did pay overtime, holiday overtime.
Okay, well, I just wanted to check with that, because my dad's not well, and, he had mentioned that, and he wanted, and I meant to call you, Patty, I'm sorry I didn't.
Are you talking about the shelter house itself, or you talking about the trash cans?
The trash cans were full, and the inside of the shelter was also, Dad had to go in and pick up trash, and,
Okay, well, that's not.
Well, that shouldn't have happened.
So not the totes, but the trash inside.
right. Okay, and one good thing, and he's not even here tonight, but I don't know how many times I have seen Mr. Denny out at the cemetery on the weekends, watering flowers, doing things that he does not have to do, and that's dedication, it really is. And one more thing, and I know this is probably not going to set well, but you go down Trojan Lane and you see the fancy statue turning in, and then we've got gravel all the way up through there. Whatever happened to the grass that used to be there?
It turned into weeds, but we're working on another plan to change the lights and the inside.
And I know we still can't decorate the poles or anything like we used to back in the day. I've had a lot of people ask about that because, we used to put the basketball player things up, and everybody really enjoyed that, and now they have to put it on the fence, and nobody ever sees
Who
it.
made that rule up? Who said we can't put on the pole?
I think that went through the school.
I think that's just the school saying
That's
they
the
don't want it.
parents groups put the signs up on the fence around football.
Makes it a lot easier for the parents to get the signs up, putting them up on the fence, than it does trying to
Yeah,
get
I
somebody
know.
to get them on the poles. And by the time you put,
School.
by the time you put football, boys cross country, girls cross country, volleyball.
Yeah, I know it's a job, but
No, I
that
mean,
was
it has much on the
something that
poles,
looked good back in, you know, it was something that,
Well, that's not the city rule or city where it's saying they can't do it. They have so many sports going at the same time.
Okay.
They've got to be fair not only to girls, but fair to football and soccer at the exact same time. And cross country, what else goes all this?
Tennis, volleyball.
Tennis, volleyball, I mean,
Yeah.
just so many sports
It's
going.
a lot different what
Well,
it
you
used
got
to
the
be.
banners, too.
That's a school decision.
Hall of Fame
Okay.
banners,
Yeah,
too.
that's a school decision.
But now, we do have work in that area as a project in Stellar, so we'll see what happens with Stellar.
okay.
When it used to be, the chamber, I mean, back in like 2012, came up with banners because we all have discussed that it's an important corridor because some people are seeing only that part of Newcastle when they come to town.
Right.
So once those banners got older, I know the Hall of Fame, ponied up money to use their banners, which I think is great. But I'm excited to see new lights like downtown and get some other welcoming banners up there too. I think it's on all of our
It is.
front burners.
Yeah.
We've got new lights picked out, the double hang lights, kind of like the gas lights that are downtown, the double. In 1959, there was just a driveway that went into Kenny Eaton's. In 60, there was a driveway that went up to Dr. McDonald's. And then in 61, couldn't find that yearbook, but Trojan Lane was still not in. And in the 62 yearbook, Trojan Lane was in. So I don't know if it was put in 61 or 62, but right in that era. I mean, Trojan Lane didn't even go all the way through.
Well, and even then, there wasn't really anything there. I don't think the bank was there till a lot later. So, I mean, the traffic is probably easier to put up, I saw pictures of the Trojan horse, big Trojan horse in the meeting, that would be neat, but.
So, but the point I make, those are the original lights that's been there ever since 60 or 61.
Wow,
So it's due for a facelift.
okay. Okay, that's all I have, so I'll turn it over to Jeff.
First of all, Lee Walker, thank you for taking care of the problem we had. Dave, have you, the flashing stoplights, have you notified them to come look? Are they two of them that's flashing there at Indiana 15?
No,
Just
Indiana
one?
Main's fixed.
Okay.
So I think it's just Indiana 15.
I'd like to discuss that.
Well, let's discuss it.
I like it flashing better too, red and green.
Well-
You can get them a whole lot quicker with the
Okay,
flashing.
That is
I
true.
like it too.
That is
If I-
true.
If I had my lifestyle.
Well, probably
Yeah, I
when
don't mind
it is
the
fixed, if it is fixed, there's gonna be some
Probably
people
stop.
running the stoplight, because they're so used to stopping and going and all that stuff.
I like the flashing.
So, we do have one
The only
fixed,
positive thing about
and we're gonna
flashing
fix the other,
is
or are we gonna keep it flashing?
probably
We talked about it, we like it flashing, I mean,
So we're gonna keep it flashing
what
then?
do you guys?
I mean, it's got to be council
So
approval,
you guys-
right?
15th in Indiana flashing lights.
So
and
the
you
traffic
guys
committee
good with
take a
that?
look at it?
Going back to.
I think the
I think
flashing is
flashing
fine.
on both.
The flashing's
Flashing.
fine there, the flashing's fine there.
That's-
14th in Indiana too.
Well, I know,
Maine
if you
doesn't
fix it,
require
it'd probably be some confusion. People are gonna stop and go, and the other side's gonna be green, and have some
I mean, all
bitter,
the ones
bitter.
we own. That's
Yeah.
just the 5 or 6 that we own.
Yeah.
It's not the ones on Broad Street.
Do we need to vote on that then?
I think the traffic, we ought to
It,
look at.
I was gonna say,
traffic
it
should
wouldn't
come
be
back to us
government
on-
if we didn't drag this out as long as possible, have the committee meet a few times, and then we'll bring it.
I'll turn that over to Travis.
We'll vote on it.
Oh, we just take the stoplights down then, put up stop signs.
If you decide to keep it flashing, have four-way stop signs. Because
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
there we go, around to that.
Yeah.
Maintenance almost every time that happens, to call somebody in, costs a lot of money. I mean, you guys say you want to stay with the 4-way.
Do we pay a yearly fee for that or not?
No, I don't think so. We have to call a company.
I know we do the street lighting, you have to call them in.
Midwest.
Okay.
Now, at that same time, the state has already talked to us about on Grand and 18th Street, taking that out.
Right.
Grand would be a stop. But their theory is keep traffic moving. They want the state roads to keep traffic moving.
And didn't they have a lot of they had a lot of back-end, rear-end accidents?
Well, they say with, on 18th Street that they have more rear-end accidents. You guys can probably vouch for that. More rear-end accidents on 18th Street by people not starting in time and somebody rear-ending them on 18th Street, north-south, than they do any accidents going east and west.
Little concern with the church on Sunday, though. I don't know how that would play out.
I'm just telling you what they said.
Yeah, we had a meeting on
I
it.
don't necessarily agree with that. I'm just telling you what they said.
History was telling them it would be better off to remove that light and just put two-way where cross traffic doesn't stop on 18. But you know, I've came to that light a lot of times and nobody there, and I'd sit and wait for it to turn, change so I can go.
I'd switch that out to sidewalks along 3.
We're working on it.
That's in the mix also.
Do we know what caused the light to do that? Because I think weren't they putting, I know outside the library, I think they were installing fiber optic cable.
I think he got struck by lightning.
Okay, all right,
Or even sometimes a power outage will cause
Right.
it to.
okay.
And you're aware of the dip by Main Street and Citizen State Bank? Where it's been a cutout and it's settled down.
Swimming, right outside on the corner of Coca.
Yeah, back
Yeah,
there.
so-
We've been on them. Have you heard anything back from back there?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay.
Check on that, yeah. That was the boring cut.
Okay, yeah, it's really settled in.
Thank you.
And where are we at on the fire contract? Is it close to being signed?
Hasn't changed for 12 years, what you heard.
Well, I'm not in a hurry. I just had a phone call that they'd like to have it signed and all that
It
stuff.
got approved and signed today.
You're a good man.
Don't tell nobody. We're good at it.
All right. That's all, Your Honor.
But it is going to change next year.
Okay.
Guys, thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
Just like to make everyone aware, it was in one of the daily career events about Castle Heights Block Party. Block Party coming up September 14th. It's basically going to be an all-day event at 3 different locations within the area of A through I, 14th through 19th Street. And there'll be more information later on that, because we're going to have further discussion this next Tuesday, the Housing Committee.
Say that again.
September 14th, Castle Heights Block Party.
Okay.
Basically, going to be in 3 different locations. Not set in stone yet, so I'd rather not say. But there's going to be a morning event, a noon event, and an afternoon event.
Are you going to need roads closed on
And I need to mention the First Nazarene Grand Avenue Church. They're a real anchor of that neighborhood. I'm very proud of what they have been able to help us out with, and the whole church itself. So they're going to be a major part of that block party also. So,
You brought up a good point, if you're going to block roads off.
no, that's not going to be
that?
it.
Anything
That's
else?
it.
Thank you.
Only thing I'll bring up, just because it was a council project, we're meeting with the contractor tomorrow. We've got the grant money for the Murphy Building windows, so that project is moving forward. We'll hopefully have them in by winter. And as of right now, as far as we know, it's all under what we earmarked, so I'll keep you posted. That's all I have.
Did the architect come in and look at that?
Not yet.
No report this evening.
Chief, or Assistant Chief? I don't have anything, Mayor.
Paving should be done by the end of the week, weather providing, and I have been in contact with the striper people, giving them updates, so once we get everything done on their schedule, I'll send it in here and finish out the stripe.
We are pleased to announce that they completed painting of I Avenue Water Tower today. It's been 28 years since it's been painted. I encourage everybody to go back and take a look at it. It's really nice. We've got to fix the jumper before we go back in service, but it should be back in service about the middle of next week.
Do they have painting neighborhoods cars?
But they, They have actually gone door to door and talked to people and told anybody that got paint on their car, they'll get a paint, send them the bill, they'll take care of it. They know it's part of the process. They're not fighting at all. They're out looking for people that they cause problems for.
Good.
Thanks, Greg.
Anything, Lee?
The only thing I like to suggest to the council is make sure that when you're talking to businesses and stuff, and they talk about trash service, the city does not provide any business with any trash service, no matter what, other than churches or not-for-profit. Anything that is for profit, the trash ordinance prohibits us from picking up their trash.
Okay. Heidi, we have anything that we can't live without from the park board?
No, not really. I think, the state park's having a state park jam. The 28th.
September
And,
28th?
Uh-huh. And then Kendra, is having, well, Meridian is having something September 4th, 14th, suicide prevention. And I did talk about the armory today. He has volleyball gym in there. He does Special Olympics monthly in there. He has lots of class reunions and weddings and, an open gym. The armory really is nice. And he kinda got things in the works, hopefully, for the holidays.
Good. Good. That's not flop for not lunch. I know. Any other citizens wishing to come before the council this evening? Come ahead.
Your Honor, William Hubert, in regard to the Safe Haven Baby Box project, what I'd like to recommend to the council and the mayor is whatever monies that you have in mind to put into the project, if you would hold that to the end, and then I could advertise that donations will be matched by the city up to whatever amount. The people at the Henry County Community Foundation, they were not receptive at all to opening an account there. And so I thought that would be a good alternative for the city and for me to be able to advertise it that way.
So do you have enough startup money to get started?
Well, we're waiting for some checks to clear so that they can start sending me bi-weekly statements about how much has been collected. But we're not expending any money except using my printer at home. And I'm going to the church, at our church. The other churches are kind of holding back because they don't want me taking money out of their collection, that kind of thing. But,
Have we went as far to pick the spot where we're gonna put it?
yeah, we talked about that last year,
No, but I mean, the actual, in what wall?
Oh,
What
well,
size hole we're gonna have to cut, what,
Chief Boatwright said that he would like to have it by the entry door at Engine 1. There's a room that's not being used for anything else. Used to be the old dispatch room. But when they come down to do the site survey, they have to approve it because it has to be certain dimensions, and there's a window there, and they could, I guess we could move the window if we had to. But, I think, just personally, just me, I think that's the ideal location for it.
okay. We'll keep that in discussion. I think the council voted it in,
We
actually,
voted to do $200 a
$200,
year
yeah.
to keep it perpetual.
Do the maintenance.
Maintenance.
Now, you're not asking the city to establish an account to receive dollars, are you?
No,
Okay.
no.
So you're asking the council to put a number on a matching fundraiser?
Connersville, the city of Connersville started their project with $2,000. And then they turned it over to the rest of the community to raise the other 8,000. And so they are within I talked to them last Monday, and they were within $2,000 of having theirs paid.
Well, last time you were here, you had mentioned you didn't want to have an account to receive the money yourself.
No.
And the foundation said they weren't interested in opening up a pass-through, correct?
Right.
So where does the money go?
There's a nonprofit corporation called Safe Haven Baby Boxes Incorporated. And it was founded by Monica Kelsey.
Okay.
She's a firefighter. Her husband is the mayor of Woodburn, Indiana. And when he was on deployment in Afghanistan, the council and whoever is in charge there, they allowed her to act as mayor while her husband was on deployment. And so I guess
Okay, okay.
So Lynn, are you asking, should like Citizen State Bank start an account?
Well,
for it?
someone, well, I mean, the money's got to go somewhere.
And then sent to?
Are you going to be the local facilitator, the representative for that organization?
No, all donations should be sent directly to the nonprofit corporation.
And they keep track of how much has come from Newcastle then?
Right.
Okay, okay.
And you can either donate online or send them a check, however you want to do it.
You all understand, the city can't donate money.
Correct.
We
That's-
can use money our funds to put this in, or however you want to
Maintain it because it's on our
We
property.
can't donate it to a nonprofit,
Right.
even for a wonderful cause. The city can't give to charities.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So then, I mean, there would surely some creative way around the match.
Well, yeah, that's what you could do.
Yeah.
A match would be to put this improvement in our building.
Right.
So if it's a $10,000 improvement, we could pay whatever amount you want to pay
Right.
towards that.
Okay.
And then the match could be the
Gotcha. Yep.
private donation.
We're just kind of a long way away from figuring, maybe at least a distance away from figuring out what our commitment would be, because we don't know exactly if that's the spot it's going to be. We've got to have this company come in and okay a place and a plan and everything. I mean, so until we know that information, we really can't do much
I
as
just
far
wanted
as.
to make sure you knew you couldn't write a
Right,
check.
right.
to
Yeah,
X,
we
Y, Z.
legally can't write a check.
And I knew that. Yeah, that's what I was getting at, yeah.
I mean, when you get the people to come in and look at the site and determine where the site will be, and you have a plan, then maybe we can participate financially in the plan on as far as our property. But otherwise, we can't just give you matching money, give you money to say, well, they'll match you up to X number of dollars. I think that's what I'm hearing, right? Mr. Copenhagen?
Yeah, I think what you do is you find out how much the project's going to cost, you get your plans, and you say, we will pay X amount of dollars towards this, and the private sector has to pay the other part.
Well, the baby box itself costs $10,000. So we have to have that, and then they do the site surveys. Chief Boatwright said he's got a house full of electricians and carpenters over there, they all have licenses. And so his plan was to have the people that work in that house build it, and then have a general contractor, pro bono, sign off on it. So, I mean, it's a high-tech piece of equipment, it's climate controlled inside, and it's hooked into the 911 dispatch. And it's-
When the doors open, it goes into 911.
Yes, well, the outside door, when it opens, there's a silent alarm, a light flash, and maybe a little chirp inside the room. And then when the parent closes the door, then 911 dispatch is notified. The firefighter or EMS verifies that there is a baby in the box. And then when he opens the box, it sends another signal to dispatch. He verifies the condition of the child, and the condition of the child determines whether it's a code 3 or a code 1 call to take it to the hospital. So
I think you have a public question here.
I'm Val McNallis, Dana One Hawthorne. I just have a question. Of the existing boxes that have been put in, over so many, I don't know if you just want to say the state of Indiana, but the existing boxes that are established, how many children have been saved, like over a 5-year period?
Well, that's hard to say, how many has been saved, because what we do along the way is educate the public. And so, most people are not aware of the state safe haven.
But now, how many babies have actually been put in a box?
There's one that I know of, and it was installed purposely.
But does this organization have some statistics that say, well, that'd be nice to bring to us sometime.
Okay.
Is it a current law that you can take a child to the fire station, to the hospital?
There is.
Yeah, but I think this isn't right.
But, yeah.
I mean, honestly, if this works once,
Well, I would
then
assume
yeah,
over
you're right. No, you're
5 years,
exactly right.
20 boxes and then say 20 children or no children, I guess.
And I
That's
think,
why I'm
yeah.
curious.
I know Monica said that they have, since they started installing these boxes, they have 0 infants died of exposure because the mother left it on the doorstep. In the state of Indiana, there's a case currently in Michigan where the mother hid her pregnancy from her mother. And then she had the baby in the bedroom. And not knowing what to do in the confused state, she actually killed the baby, and the mother, in her distress, rushed the daughter to the hospital, not the baby. And as she learned that her daughter had given birth to her room. So now the young woman is charged with murder, and she's facing a life sentence, and the child is dead. So that's what we wanted to do, whatever it takes to stop that from happening anywhere else. That's what we want to do.
Well, this is no time for discussion, I'm not gonna get very deep in it, but it does hit to home.
Right?
The last meeting that you were at, just the week before that, we had an incident with, porta potty at one of our parks that was confiscated, and that an incident along this line had to be dealt with. So don't think just little Newcastle is exempt from. Am I backing up or getting ready to blow?
Is that you, Aaron?
Nope.
But this, I didn't want to say anything about Dan, and we're not going to go into details, but it can happen in Newcastle also.
Right.
There was a very close incident that had to be investigated, and I support it, I'm behind it. But let me ask the council and ask Counselor. Council, can we, as he goes out and promotes it, say that the city council and that the city of Newcastle is behind this and is supporting it? I mean, would that help you too? Yes.
I think you can say that because of the action we've already taken.
Yeah,
We've done
We've
it.
already said we'll pay $200 a year for maintenance.
As far as like a match, though, we don't have the idea.
Well, I'd like to see them fundraise for a couple of months and come back with a number of what's been raised by, the public. There's not really any use of us taking any action if there's not going to be enough money brought in
It'd be a pledge.
on the second, so. I just think you come back, you bring the statistics on how many times this has been used and things like that. And
Well, I think what you're asking is if you could go out and say if you had the support from the city.
yeah, well, you do because we've already voted on it.
It would be.
Okay, well, you got that from the council
Got it.
and from.
Mr. Burcham back there, you'd like to.
I looked up on the website real quick. First one was installed in 2016. 2 babies have been surrendered using the actual box. 2 other babies have been surrendered to firehouses with the baby box. They also, I'm assuming some of the money goes to this, they operate a 1-800 number for people who are in this situation.
Right.
And 55 babies have been surrendered by people who called the number to get information.
Is that just in Indiana, or is that nationwide?
Well-
It didn't go into that much detail, but that was.
real quick on that 2018 annual report, 3 newborn babies in Indiana in boxes, 49 women surrendered their newborns safely via the hotline, and there were 6 adoption referrals. So they said 58 lives changed in Indiana, 2018.
Steve. I'm Steve Dyer. Bill talked to me about this, and being raised in this community, I said, well, so I'm old enough to know that we paid for every first aid unit since I was a little kid. We did the Jaws of Life through Lions Club for the community. We did the machines for the firemen. I was part of the Lions Club when we got the first. I said, this community beats anything I've ever been around, even though I've lived there all my life. So I really think it's something we can do. There's no choice we can do it or not. It's just get the right promotion and the right thing.
I agree.
You know, I can still remember as a kid, Chuck Woods went to Florida, and we were to the forefront of the United States on how to deal with emergency units. And I was hardly old enough to make a decision. So there's no doubt this community can, you know, if the needs be, we can do it. I want him to understand what kind of community this is, because only if you've been raised here all your life, do you really know what this community is.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. 440. Any other citizens wishing to come before the council this evening?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.